Hey everyone, this is DW's Darius and welcome to another day in a fish room. So in my last video I gave you guys a look at some of my fish that are sick with internal parasites. In that video I mentioned how some of these parasites are in our aquariums, they're just dormant, so we really don't see the signs of them. However, as soon as our fish's immune system go down by stress, then they are attacked by the parasites. So today I want to address a little bit of how we could prevent that by lowering the stress level of our fish. So today I want to give you guys 7 ways to lower the stress level of your aquarium fish. So one of the first things you could do to lower the stress level in your aquarium is just to try your best to keep a good water quality. Now this can simply be done by just making sure you stay on top of maintenance, mainly with water changes. You want to do water changes as frequent as possible. With me, I like to do mine once a week. Every now and then I do skip a week, but I find that once a week water changes are pretty well. It helps me stay on top of everything and I haven't had any problems with my water quality. On top of that, you can make sure you clean your media out every now and then. Now you don't want to do it too frequently, but at the same time you don't want to go too long without cleaning the media inside your filter. So I like to go every 3 months and just make sure I clean everything with tank water, using tank water to make sure I keep all the beneficial bacteria alive. But every 3 months work for me. I guess it all depends on when your water starts looking murky. If your water starts to lose clarity, that could be a sign that you need to clean the media inside your filter. Another thing you could do for water quality is making sure that you use your water conditioners whenever you add water to the tank. This is very important, and it's also important that you use the proper dosage. You don't want to use too less, or you don't want to overdo it. If you use too less, you still run the risk of allowing your fish to be exposed to those harmful elements inside tap water, and if you add too much, you're simply just wasting money. So it's definitely important to use the proper dosage on those water conditioners and use them whenever you add water to an aquarium. And lastly, you could increase the water quality of your aquarium by adding plants. Now sometimes with certain fish it's hard to add plants because certain fish are destructive, but if you look inside my African cichlid tank, I have pothos, which is a terrestrial plant growing above the aquarium, and the roots are in the aquarium, and it's definitely benefiting the water. It's taking out nitrites and nitrates and just making the water a little bit cleaner. So that's one of the ways you could lower the stress level of your aquarium fish, by keeping them in a nice healthy aquarium with good water quality. The next thing you could do is consider tank mates. When it comes to tank mates, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have no over the top bullies, fish that just are unnecessarily aggressive. Now you gotta have an eye for it. You know, certain fish are just naturally aggressive, like my African cichlids. Every now and then I can catch a fight. But if you see just a fish that's constantly harassing another fish, if there's a certain fish that's always hiding and it just never has time to come out, that could be a sign of too much bullying. And this is one of the #1 causes in my aquariums for these parasites to attack my fish. The fish is very stressed out from being bullied, and then eventually the immune system goes down, and then I have a fish that's refusing to eat. So you definitely want to stay on top of bullying. And the next thing to do with tank mates is make sure you don't overstock. An aquarium that's too crowded, it could be hard to notice bullying if a tank is too crowded. It also could be just lowering, back with that first reason with the water quality. Too many fish could lower the water quality if you don't stay on top of that maintenance. So the next important thing is to make sure you consider the tank mates that you have with your fish. Make sure that they all get along properly and that you don't have too many. The next thing to do to make sure you lower the stress level of your aquarium fish is pay attention to the diet of your fish. Don't overfeed them. With my fish, they beg all the time, but it's definitely not a good thing to feed them every time they beg, because that goes into the first reason with water quality. If you overfeed your fish, even if they eat it all, they're going to poop it all out, and it's really going to have a huge effect on the water quality. And unless you're willing to do a bunch of water changes and a bunch of maintenance, you're gonna have problems. So don't overfeed your fish, and at the same time you want to make sure you feed quality brands, and you want to stick to the diet that your fish would naturally eat in the wild. Herbivorous fish, make sure you feed them their veggies. Predatorial fish, make sure you feed them a good brand of high protein food, and just pay attention to your diet, to the diet that you feed your fish. Read the ingredients, know what your fish would naturally eat in the wild, and try your best to come close to it with the ingredients of the fish food that you choose. The next thing that you could do to lower the stress level of your aquarium fish is make sure that the design of your aquarium is adequate for your fish. So the first thing with design is the tank size. Of course, that's pretty obvious. You want to make sure that your fish isn't too big for your aquarium. I don't think it's a such thing as being too small for a tank. I think the main issue is adding large fish to small aquariums. That can be pretty stressful. On top of that, the design of the aquarium itself, the rockscape, the hardscape, the aquascape, you want to make sure that it's just a safe environment for your fish. Now, some fish just really don't care. Some of the cichlids I keep, they don't mind a tank that's just open, but then you have other fish like my loaches and some of my other cichlids. They love to hide, and you know, when you provide these hiding spots with the different driftwoods and rocks, they definitely appreciate it, and when you don't have it, they can be stressed out. So just make sure you provide a nice safe environment for your fish. Once again, do your research, figure out which of your fish like to hide more, which of them don't mind being in the open, and design your tank appropriately. Another good way to lower stress in an aquarium is by just being consistent with your water parameters. It's very important not to fluctuate too often when it comes to your temperature, to your pH, and to your other parameters. When I add water to my aquarium, I try my best to match the temperature. pH can be a little bit difficult matching it with my tap because my tap is pretty high, and in some of my aquariums I do like to lower it, but to the best of my ability I try to be as consistent as possible, and that definitely helps. The next thing you could do to lower stress in your aquarium is when it comes to acclimating new fish to the tank. We all know this, acclimating needs to be nice and slow. It shouldn't be rushed. The drip acclimation, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to do it. And there's two types of acclimation. You acclimate your fish to the water chemistry. You want to make sure that the fish is slowly adjusted to your pH, to your temperature and stuff like that. And you also want to acclimate your fish to the other fish in the aquarium. A good way to do this is by using like breeder boxes or just different things to allow your fish to be in an aquarium to see the fish, but not to actually be able to interact with them, so that they're able to see each other. Especially in aggressive aquariums, you could get like a clear glass box, a breeder box, or anything like that. You put the fish inside of it for a couple of days, they see each other, and they don't really get the opportunity to fight and all that other stuff that causes stress. So acclimation both to water chemistry and to the fish is very important in lowering the stress level of your aquarium. And the final thing that you could do to lower the stress level of your aquarium fish is whenever you do rescapes on your aquarium, make sure it is quick as possible. I know with my tanks I like to do rescapes just because every now and then I like a new design. Sometimes I get too much of an aggressive fish, and a rescape helps change the hierarchy up a little bit. But some fish just really don't like when you dig inside the aquarium. So when you do your rescapes, try to be as quick as possible. It's a good idea to plan before you go rescaping. I know with me, sometimes I don't like to plan, and I could be digging inside the aquarium for hours trying to get the perfect look. So it's very important that you know what you're doing before you go digging in your aquarium. And just overall, if you limit the amount of time that you are digging inside your aquarium, you're going to lower the stress level of your fish. Now, of course, certain fish don't really mind, like in my 350-gallon aquarium, my red devils and all of them, they really don't mind me being in an aquarium because they are bold. But then again, if I do the same thing inside, let's say my 125-gallon planted tank, they're definitely going to be more effective because these fish are more shy. So just limit the amount of time you physically are in your aquarium, the amount of time you rescape, the amount of time you use a net inside your aquarium. Whenever you catch fish, try to catch them at night because it's quicker and just less stress on the fish that's being caught and also on the other fish in the aquarium. Okay everyone, so those are some of the main ways to relieve your aquarium fish of stress. Now let's remember that stress is one of the main gateways for diseases and parasites to enter into our aquarium. So if we keep our aquarium stress-free, then we keep our fish safe from diseases and from parasites. And also on top of that, we save a little bit of money because it is expensive trying to treat that stuff. And if we don't have to worry about our fish stressed out, a lot of times we ourselves, the fish keepers, won't be stressed out because that stuff can be stressful. And just like fish, they get sick from stress. We humans as well, we could get sick from stress as well. So let's try to keep our aquarium a stress-free environment and just have a more enjoyable aquarium. As always, if you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you want more, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions or comments about what you saw today, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.